Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm just popping on to talk about what's been going on energetically for me, or my experiences at the moment. So for the last week, it's been very, very intense, but specifically over the weekend, where I had a mass clearing and healing over all to do with the stomach. So I actually covered this on my workshop last week. So, you know, this area, the stomach area, the colon, all around that is all to do with an indigestible anger. So something that you can't digest that would make you angry. A situation, a person said something, you might not be able to digest what they're saying, or you might not be able to digest that someone's sort of within your space, and you can't digest the fact that they're there, or, you know, there's many things and many ways that we can perceive an indigestible anger, but we can feel it, okay? We can feel that anger. And it's always in that moment of shock where we create this situation and it shocks us. It takes us by surprise. It's not something to be expected. It's an unexpected shock. So I have been in a deep healing. And as on my workshop, as I spoke about, I tend to be quite a reactive person. So I tend to absorb things within my environment, and I tend to get more angry. So these are the kind of conflicts that I sort of deal with. And these are the kind of physical symptoms that I usually deal with, is more to do with the stomach. I don't tend to deal with other conflicts. I sometimes get a lot of jaw conflict, which is a pain in my jaw and a tightness, grinding the teeth, and that's withholding words. But I don't tend to get others. So, over the last couple of days, I've had a really, really intense healing. I mean, it was, if it was me 6 years ago, I'd have run to A&E, I'd have at least gone to the doctor, but I would have probably gone to A&E. But I completely and utterly surrendered. I didn't question it. I didn't worry. I didn't have fear. I didn't get scared. I completely and utterly surrendered into how I was feeling. And I had pains, and I had nausea, and I had fever. I had it all. And it was really intense. It knocked me off my feet and put me in bed for, a good 24 hours, where I couldn't really get out of bed, and I had a hot water bottle. And the reason that I'm sort of coming on to talk about this is because we create these situations because of our frequency, because of our energy. So we have the German medicine side of it. We have the way that I'm able to link this in and narrow it down. But when we create these experiences in our life, firstly, they are meant to be created. They are a part of our journey, and a part of us learning, and a part of us waking up, and a part of how we transcend ourselves. However, if we can get in line and understand what the messages our body is telling us, then we can work on creating a better, a more aligned frequency and vibration, and we can create and work. Well, we can work into our shadows. Right? Okay. Why do I get like that? Why do I always see things in that way? And then you can work and transcend your shadows. So that's why I link it up to the Gene Keys. And thankfully to my friend Quirky, Quirky Cosmos, she introduced me to Gene Keys, which has literally transformed my life, along with German medicine. So be able to work on the shadows that might be in my specific profile, but also on a collective. But on my specific profile, I'm looking at me. If I'm looking at why I am receiving these things, or why my clients are, then I want to be able to hone in specifically, so we can get right into the grit of what is going on a conscious level and on a subconscious level. What are the programs running? How can we keep ourselves clearer so we can see a different perspective when something happens to us? How do I create less anger because I know that anger is stemmed out of fear. So then I dig down and I find out where that comes from. And just being able to consciously create the perception that you want and the world that you want, and how you want to put yourself out there and how you want to receive things. Just being consciously aware of what you need to work on and how you need to hold up to these things that are going on around you. Because as we all know, the last year, or it's about 14, 15 months now, has been extremely intense. So we could quite frankly have been in that high alert, conflict active phase where we've been stressed. When we finally start to relax and we finally start to work on our frequency and we start to work on our shadows, we will be releasing these active conflicts that could have been in place for years. So we would be expected to have some physical symptoms, and some of them may be intense, especially if they are long-standing or very severe conflicts. And it's being able to cope with and understand and not go into panic mode when we get sick, which is hard. And it all depends what kind of symptoms you've got and how you sort of relate to them and how you can flow with them and surrender to them and accept them, because it's a lot easier said than done. But our body is sending us messages. Our body is sending us messages in every moment. So every pain, every part of inflammation, the fever, anything that you get that usually we've been programmed to go to the doctors with, or we've been programmed to think there's something wrong. Oh my God, I've got a cold. You haven't. You are healing. And when you can understand that 82%, I think it is, I may be wrong with these numbers, sorry if I am, but of the time when you are experiencing symptoms is your body healing. It's making it stronger. It's becoming better. After these feelings and these pain and the symptoms that are displaying, your body is going to be stronger. You are going to be stronger, both physically, mentally, spiritually, the whole part of you is going to become stronger if you don't go into panic. And even if you do go into panic and then you catch that panic and you pull yourself back, you're still going to your body's still going to be stronger regardless of whether you know this anyway. It all depends on whether we create panic, because then we can loop around and we can keep getting chronic symptoms. So we might have a track in place. So it's just being really conscious and aware of yourself on a daily basis and what is being created in your environment. How are you responding to what is going on in your environment? Are you playing the victim all the time? Are you, if you're in that sort of poor me and the blame or complain, that creates a frequency of victimization within us. And then if we are in that frequency, when things happen to us, we are going to create more conflicts. We are going to create more shocks, because we aren't clear and in that sort of free, open space. We're in that poor me space. And, I go into poor me all the time. But I'm more conscious of it. But you know what? I am not perfect, and no one is perfect. And anyone that displays perfection to you on the outside is either bypassing, or they're just displaying that to you, maybe through a spiritual ego, as we like to call it, or maybe they're displaying that to you because it's making themselves feel better, and they're sort of lying, which again is that sort of bypassing. Okay, everyone has really rough times. Everyone has really difficult times. Everyone cries, or everyone feels like crying. Sometimes people feel like they're dying inside. Sometimes we don't want to be here. We want to leave the earth. Sometimes we get into these states, and okay. Like, it's okay to be in these places of in these darker, lower density places. It's okay to be there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a part of your journey. And I think when we know that it's a part of our journey, we can bring acceptance in and we can surrender more, because otherwise we're just going to loop round and round and round and round and round. And this is where the work comes in on an individual basis. No one can do your work for you. No one can change you. No one knows what's right for you. We can, healers and therapists, they can facilitate and assist you on your journey, but ultimately they should be giving you the ways in which to empower yourself for healing. So you're not relying on any one person to give you the answers. You're not relying on any one person that you think knows the answers. It all comes from within. Okay, so if you tap deep into who you are and deep into your whole being, that's physical, spiritual, mental, the whole part of you, if you can tap in, you can create and you can find your own truth. My truth and my beliefs may not be yours. So whatever I say, just take what resonates and leave the rest. You don't have to believe everything I say. And I don't want people to. I don't want people to be where they're, I'm not like that to people. I watch few people and I take what resonates. And this is what this process of ascension, or however you want to call it, this process that we're moving into, is learning to tap into you and become your sovereign being without getting and relying on information outside of yourself. And if you go to healers and therapists, go to them with the open mind that they are assisting you and facilitating your movement, your ascension, your evolvement. They are helping assist that. They aren't doing it for you. They're just triggering stuff inside you to wake you up, or to wake your own intuition up. And sometimes you might not agree, and that's okay. It's what feels right to you, because what's right to our individual self might not be right to others. And I really want to put this message out, because we're not all the same, and there's a lot of stuff going on out there that's where people are just starting to get lost and follow, and sometimes we need to take a step back and go, whoa, I don't want to listen to this. Or sometimes we might take bits, or we might take it all. We might love it. We might really resonate with someone, and that's okay, because then that means that that's your truth for you. But we don't want to get lost in other people's opinions, other people's wisdom, and other people's knowledge and what they're bringing to us. We want to be able to tap into ourselves, yeah? Tapping into us. How do we do that? We take time out from the screen. We take time out from watching other people. Ironically, I'm doing a video on this. But we take time out from everyone and everything's opinions and beliefs, and we tap into ours. And when we hear information, we'll start to learn whether that feels right to us or whether that feels wrong. It doesn't mean that that person that's saying it, if you don't resonate, is not right. It means it's not right for you, because we're all at different stages of where we are, and we're all here for different reasons. So we will all absorb different information for whatever is needed at the time. And that's just the way it is. So, my message today is tap into you, listen to your body and what your body is telling you. Remove fear and try to surrender into the guidance that it's telling you, and try to remove panic and just allow yourself some time away from the outside noise of everything, to connect in with you, because the more we can connect in with ourselves, the more we will be able to live in a more sovereign sort of consciousness. Okay? So guys, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you all soon.